I just got something and it's real, real special. My heart is pounding, it's pounding for this one thing. And that's not, it comes, we'll have some fun. I'll grab my guns and then I'll go get my knife. It comes, we'll have some fun. I'll grab my guns and then I'll go get my knife. It's dark and it's frightening. At night I will be lighting the way with something worth a lot more than your car. They're called knots. I got knots. I'm flexing on you with my knots. Oh my gosh, take a look through these tubes of my knots.
Listen babe, I know it's real scary at night and we're out in the woods and you're hearing some ruffling from behind the bushes, but there's no need to be afraid. You know why? Cause daddy's got night vision, okay?
You and me, we're meant to be alone at night. The stars so bright, I look at you, you see me through these tubes of mine. Yeah, those are my knots.
When the moon's out, all of my goons out. When the moon's out, I bring my goons out. When the moon's out, all of my goons out. When the moon's out, I bring my goons out.
It's dark and it's frightening. At night I will be lighting the way with something worth a lot more than your car. They're called knots. I got knots. I'm flexing on you with my knots. Oh my gosh, take a look through these tubes of my knots. I got knots. I'm flexing on you with my knots. Oh my gosh, take a look through these tubes of my knots.
Yeah, so what? It costs as much as a used car. You think that I'd care? I can see at night now. Yeah, it's a superpower. I'm basically a Navy SEAL, okay?
He got dinner, he got dinner, dinner, he got dinner, he got dinner, dinner, he got dinner, he got dinner, dinner, he got the two, yeah.
When I saw you coming off the printer,
Damn.
I knew it was on. Yeah, you be looking so damn good, so I wrote you this song.
It's for you.
Some people, they just don't understand. They look and they stare. Policeman, he stopped me, he said, son, what you got there? It's a Glock, yeah, the Glock. It's a Glock that's also a bomb. It's the Glock, yeah, the Glock. It's my Glock and it's also my bomb. The Glock, yeah, the Glock. It's a Glock that's also a bomb. The Glock, yeah, my Glock. It's my Glock and it's also my bomb. The world can be so scary, yeah. I need some protection. Sometimes I stare into my Glock, I can see my own reflection. I'm smoking up dope, I'm shooting out this smoke, I'm cooking up the felonies. Sir, I don't understand what's so wrong with printing my Glock.
No, don't do that. Stop it. You're supposed to stop the music when I tell you to. Welcome, everybody. I'm your emotional support Chad here on this wonderful Sunday evening. It's just me today. This is a topic I wanted to cover myself and is on the IRL kick streamer Chud the Builder. So if you're not familiar with Chud the Builder, he was I say was because he's in prison right now. He was an IRL streamer that liked to go out in the streets and provoke minorities by calling them racial slurs and making monkey noises at them. And it's something that I wanted to go over for a little bit now. We're going to watch a couple of videos quick, and I'll just give my thoughts on the subject. So, see if anybody trickles in here for a second. See, we have Rodney. Welcome, Rodney. Lou, love to see you. But yeah, we're gonna get started again with Turkey Tom because he has really good sources on internet people. I looked up other videos and they just didn't really have much for me. So we're gonna play it at 1.25 speed and let's get started.
The internet churns out a new figure from the industrial sludge of TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram who goes viral for being annoying or strange. Daniel Larson went viral for dine and dashing. Clavicular went viral for bone smashing. Now, there's Chud the Builder.
They chipping out! They chipping out!
He went viral for hundreds of clips just
Poor guy.
like this one, receiving praise from those who see him as a free speech warrior and hatred from others who call him a grifting bigot. As his notoriety grew, so did the repercussions to his personal life, from multiple platform bans and arrests to confrontations with his enemies.
You're chimping out! You're the chimp, monkey! Look at this, I got his hat right here!
It all culminated in
What a
Chud shooting
character.
someone who allegedly assaulted him and a state charge for attempted murder. But Chud doesn't exist in a vacuum. While he may have only come on your radar in the past few months, he's had a long history both on and offline. Today, I'll examine his past to see how we got from this to this.
I was ready to chimp out.
We got 18 rounds for you. We ain't got nothing else.
He will often go up to black people and call them, what was deemed to be like the worst thing possible.
Somebody get him a banana. He's
Tripping out.
You want to go call black people the N-word to their face. That's your God-given right or something.
So that's kind of where I stand on the whole situation. I think that if you really want to, you have every right to go out in the street and call black people bad words. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's something you should do. I don't really have any respect for it. But technically, it's not illegal. You have the right to do that.
Get his license plate.
I really don't like that approach of antagonizing people in public. I just don't.
But everything is about to get much worse for Chud.
Yep.
Mugshot attached to the not having a driver's license case. And there's also one last mugshot that I haven't been able to attach.
I'm going to try to make this quick.
As the charge
I should have probably prepared this, so I'm just going to go fast forward to when he starts doing the stuff that we know him for today.
up, which is how you get this image right here, which you may have seen before if you already know of the Chud phenomenon. Sorry to break the news here, but this image is AI generated. I think this was the first instance of it being posted
I think Chris Chan found a new girlfriend.
online, and this is the original, which you can see was his original profile pic on Twitter. As his past was being dug up and Dalton was producing a number of rage bait clips calling people the N-word, he left a small trail of pissed off citizens who wanted to pitch in their 2 cents. For example, Twitter user Robbie Harvey made a video which contained a personal testimony from one of Chud's targets.
We were walking through Walmart when a grown man looked at my girls and called them. Then he looked at me and said I was a f***ing joke, and he walked away, repeating the N-word with a hard ER at the end.
One of the guys he said was chimping out in one of his videos also spoke out.
My friend's pregnant. She works up there at Kroger, so I park in the fire lane. Mind you, she's 7, almost 8 months pregnant, about to drop a baby. I'm not gonna walk through the parking lot. She's pregnant like that, so I pull up. Before I even got to say a word, the man, he had already walked up and was like throwing racial slurs at us, calling us chimps and hard ER.
Absolutely, Rodney. I agree. And I also think, while I don't think that being called bad words in the street by strangers is a reason to attack somebody, I don't think you should expect to not get attacked if you're going to be doing that shit to people. It's just going to happen.
Problem. He pulled his phone out and then started recording. I was like, yeah, he's chimping out. Like,
now, while we don't have footage of the first incident, we do have footage of the second one.
What do you mean? He chimping out. He said, what's the issue? Because I looked at him. Chimping out? He chimping out. Put that phone down.
He chimping out.
You don't like looking ugly? Put that phone down, ass boy. Shut up.
It's very clear that this guy is engaging with Chud and being belligerent, but it's possible there was some off-camera lead-up to the recorded situation, so it's still without context. Regardless, these testimonies were paired with the somewhat important claim that Chud would also, on occasion, brandish his weapon in a threatening manner. Chud saw and replied to Robbie's
Which is unacceptable. I understand why he was carrying a weapon. That's also his right. But if you're going to be going out and antagonizing people, at a certain point, that's not self-defense anymore. Especially if you start brandishing it. That's already, if you brandish a weapon and you're not actually in a self-defense scenario, that's already cause to get your ass kicked.
Happened. Continue the slander. The
And it's
lawsuit
also
looks like
illegal.
going to be magnificent. I'm not sure what he's calling fake here since he's not too specific, but as far as I know, he never filed a lawsuit against these guys, either because they were telling the truth or they're lying and he just didn't think it was worth the effort. The entire community of Clarksville, Tennessee was quickly up in arms about Dalton's behavior, so much so that the local police felt the need to issue a statement. The Clarksville PD is aware of a video circulating on social media. We want to make it clear that this type of behavior is not condoned and the individual seen in the video is not affiliated with the Clarksville Police Department in any capacity. We take this matter seriously and are looking into it further. The department will be seeking legal advice to determine what type of action, if any, can be taken. Clearly, the authorities were not interested in letting this stuff be filmed and posted in their town, and as a result, they were looking for some legal remedies. Although, from the post itself, they seem unclear on whether or not any laws were actually broken in the recordings, probably because, like it or not, you can be racist to someone without it being a crime. In the lead up to all of this breaking, Chud had gone massively viral at least.
Oh no, for sure, words aren't illegal, but I just can't expect people to react in a positive manner to doing this kind of thing. And I don't think violence is justified, but I still think you shouldn't expect for violence not to occur in this situation.
You got freedom of speech. You just don't have the freedom of consequences from your speech. It's like telling an inmate, hey, you got the freedom to leave your jail cell. You just don't have the freedom of consequence. Hey, you got the freedom to speak, but we're going to threaten you with deadly violence if you do use that freedom. Oh, but it doesn't sound like the white man's very free. You're going to threaten me with deadly violence? You're going to threaten to starve my family and my company? Am I really free to do that? And if I'm not free, then why are we not fighting for our freedoms back? Are we just okay with losing our freedoms as white people?
But for the time being, the citizens of this town were at a loss. The police couldn't do anything, meaning the only option was to criticize him publicly or try to rally support for something to be done. They made a change.org petition demanding that some form of action be taken. While there's plenty of comments about the legal status of calling someone the N-word at Walmart, some of them give some more interesting context. This guy is a transplant from Indianola, Iowa. He was fired from his job. Wonder why? It's because of his actions. And then he started his business thinking Clarksvillians would tolerate this BS. I've known Dalton for quite some time, and it's sad to see he fell down the internet media hole of grifting. He was once a nice guy who was worshiping Liver King, and
if he worshipped Liver King, I highly doubt he was a nice guy.
Now it's Nick Fuentes. So this man is lost and 100% lying about
especially Nick Fuentes.
Even
Fuck that guy.
From what I knew way back. Whole different person before the crystal-wearing Bob Marley lover we knew. This has to stop, and he really needs to know he can't do this to people. This claim that he was previously a Liver King clone is something that has shown up a lot in other places, but if it is true, I haven't been able to find any content resembling that. Here, we also see the resurgence of the claim that Chud took advantage of a woman. I previously talked to Dalton. I met him through Tinder and went to his house. He had expressed racism and many displays.
My desk is a mess right now.
Too scared to leave. He wouldn't allow.
This was kind of impromptu. I wasn't really prepared, but I wanted to get a quick stream in before the weekend was over.
After I reported all of this publicly on Facebook, posting photos of him and messages. This man's deranged and needs to be in prison. I'd really like to see whoever is claiming this happened to actually come forward and provide proof for what they're saying, given that this has been said multiple times with no proof presented. Whatever the case, it's clear that the people of Clarksville were not happy with Dalton. At the same time, he had been trying, and succeeding to some extent, to earn the sympathy of people online. He put together a Give, Send, Go campaign with a $300,000.
And that's another thing. I don't think he sexually assaulted anybody. I think that's just something they're using against him to make him look even worse than he already does.
Goal titled Help the Chud and His Family. My name is Dalton Etherly, and I'm reaching out with a heavy heart, fighting to protect my family and my business. Just over 1 year ago, I started DLE contracting.
Yeah, Rodney, Liver King, he said that all of his muscles and everything were because he just ate raw liver and raw meat and shit. But it turned out he was spending like $10,000 on steroids every single month. And his abs are implants. Like if you look at Liver King, his abs aren't real.
Tennessee, out of sheer
and he's blasting steroids worse than Arnold.
Contracting job after BLM activists targeted me over words I shared online. Jokes and opinions they twisted to end my career. With no other way to support my family and my precious 2-year-old son, I poured everything into this small business, working tirelessly to provide for my family and build a future. But now, that dream is under attack. Not for the quality of my work, but for what I say online. I've shared mild jokes, unfiltered thoughts, and yes, sometimes I
don't know if the jokes are super mild, to be fair, but they are jokes.
For that, hundreds of people in my city are slandering my business, spreading lies to tear down everything I've worked for. The hate has escalated to a horrifying level. I've received death threats so vile, they shake me to my core. People threatening to and murder me, and even targeting my innocent 2-year-old son with unspeakable cruelty. As a father, hearing these threats against my little boy breaks my heart and keeps me up at night. In the midst of this nightmare, a spark of hope emerged. I went viral on Instagram, gaining over 23,000 followers who connect with my story, my resilience, and my refusal to be silenced. The slander has crushed my business's income, and I'm struggling to keep food on the table, pay our bills, and protect my family from this onslaught. He goes on to ask for money to pay for living expenses, explore legal options against those who have slighted him, and find new ways to earn a living. But this isn't just about money, he says. It's about standing up to a mob trying to destroy not just my family's future over words, but our rights to free speech as a whole. So,
and that's where I disagree with this. I don't think that people want to get rid of free speech. I know there are a lot of people, especially when it comes to racism, that actually do. I just think they're pissed off, and their actions aren't excusable. You shouldn't be sending death threats to people at all, ever, actually, but especially not just for edgy jokes and a little bit of shouting racism in the street. But at the same time, I think it's more of an emotional response than an actual philosophical one.
There are a lot of things to get into as far as this block of text goes. The first of which being the "this isn't just about money" thing. It's standing up to a mob part. Reeks of ChatGPT or some other AI writing. I don't really have some major issue with AI, but I just can't help but pick up on this telltale sign that this guy resorted to ChatGPT to try and concoct a narrative that made him look more sympathetic. Secondly, as far as I can tell, he's never actually proved that he was fired for an edgy joke. Maybe that is the case, and if it is, I actually do feel bad for him. But from the get-go, people were taking issue with him going out of his way in public to call random strangers the N-word. I've yet to find any evidence he's been the victim of some kind of injustice that led to him doing his current shtick. Someone who does have that kind of backstory is Gypsy Crusader.
My boy!
Actually trying to build
this is my boy right here. I fucking love Gypsy Crusader.
Racist Joker after he was assaulted by several members of Antifa.
What's wrong, kid?
I just got bullied for being gay.
Oh yeah? What's about to happen again?
It seems that Chud wanted to have the same kind of tragic backstory. The last piece of this Give, Send, Go puzzle to analyze is his repeated mention of his family and his son, who, make no mistake, are absolutely undeserving of any harassment and death threats they've gotten. Again, regardless of how much of a nuisance or an asshole Chud may be, death threats, especially directed at people who aren't even him, should never be tolerated, as they cut much closer to being illegal than the stuff Chud says. But in spite of this all being true, it's pretty dishonest how he keeps bringing up the family stuff when he is known to be separated and not with his son. At most, the money he gets on this campaign is going to be paid as child support, but on the page, it isn't made clear by Chud. With this amount of small inconsistencies, you'd imagine that people would at least be skeptical, but alas, there are a lot of people who just see Chud's case as the front line of their political cause, so they were more than willing to throw money at it no matter what the small print said. And
that's another problem that I have with the situation as a whole, that I think that in this situation for his crusade for free speech, I think he is just grifting to get money. I think he's doing, like, he's not raising this money for his family. I think he's just trying to monetize his grift.
It currently stands, he's just a couple $1,000s away from his goal of $300K. Just as things escalated more and more online, Chud was suddenly arrested for harassment. Although he was almost immediately released, soon after the arrest, another thing popped up on his record, a restraining order which was dismissed within a month of it being granted. Commenting on this development, here's what Chud had to say. "I'm now being accused of stalking by a certain AT&T employee who I met only once ever in my life, the day she decided to slap my phone and assault me. This person is now claiming my single post about her is a form of harassment. I need an attorney as soon as possible." I was served an order of protection this morning by the sheriff, with a special request that I not be allowed to carry a firearm as part of the order. These people are trying to conspire against me in order to strip me of my rights, all while I receive death threats from people all across the country. Much later on, the specifics of what happened to get Chud arrested and served a restraining order in the first place were clarified. November 17th, 2025. In a coffee shop parking lot shared with the DA's office, a man recognized me, filmed me, and escalated with threats, including sexual assault against my companion. I recorded back. Video went viral. Minutes later, police pulled me over. Said DA office called claiming assault witnessed. They reviewed my footage, saw no crime, and released me. November 18th and 19th, 2025. Charged with harassment via call forwarding. The harassment was me forwarding incoming calls, doxing, and threats from third parties encouraged by one antagonist back to him. I
actually think that's kind of funny. They're trying to harass him, so he just forwards all the calls to the person who started it. That's pretty based, actually. I'm not gonna criticize that. I don't know the legality about that, though.
Fabricated to counter viral backlash. Public spin falsely paints it as racial targeting. So in this explanation, both of the people whom Chud got in trouble with were men, but he referred to the AT&T employee who supposedly slapped his phone and hit him with a restraining order as a she. So it's kind of unclear just how many situations were going on at the same time. Whatever the case.
So along with that, with the restraining order thing, he said they were trying to get his right to carry a weapon taken away. I think in very specific circumstances, at least temporarily, that should be allowed. But for some random person just claiming harassment and giving a protective order, I don't think that's not right. I don't think they should be able to do that. A case that I do believe that should be allowed is with the Tectone situation, not just because of the allegations against him, but because he was diagnosed as a schizophrenic and refused to medicate himself. So, yeah, I think that that's justified.
It's clear that the clips he was posting online were getting him a lot of negative attention in real life. In a video update, he tried to further clarify the situation.
For weeks, I've been getting harassed. I report the harassment. I made some videos where I stirred some people up, but I did nothing illegal in those videos. Clarksville PD gets all the pressure from the people believing those slanderous videos, and they say, why haven't you arrested this guy? Then I allegedly forwarded my calls for a single day to a person who's been posting my number saying, call this person, and they come and arrest me for the harassment that I've been reporting that they do nothing about. Then they paint a target on my back and say, you're not allowed to leave the state and you can't carry a firearm. If this doesn't sound like conspiracy...
Yeah, I don't think that's okay.
I don't know what is.
In this instance, he talks about him forwarding incoming calls as alleged, despite not having done so before, which I can only assume is him being legally careful so as not to implicate himself in admitting to having done something that would fit the bill for harassment. But despite how many issues he was involved in at this point, none of them were sufficient to actually stop Chud from continuing his rage bait content campaign. But it did seem to make him take a bit of a detour for the time being. I assume because he was temporarily without his gun to protect himself. On November 21st, he uploaded a video of himself at Planet Fitness with the caption,
"Mocking these chimps."
In the WLM pump cover. WLM standing for White Lives Matter. During this brief hiatus, he also resorted to uploading some of his greatest hits, including what he described as his first video to go viral on Instagram, which showed him getting yelled at by 3 white girls outside.
Gonna adjust my camera here.
He claims they were mad because local fat single mom
I don't like the way it's sitting.
obsessed with me for years. True. He says they broke his phone and ripped his shirt, but he forgave them with no charges filed. As pointed out by some people in the replies, this post, like many others of a similar pattern, don't show exactly how the altercation started, and we have to go exclusively off of Chud's word for context. Besides this re-upload, this entire period of November 2025 was rife with Chud posting pictures of himself trying his hardest to mog and look Chad. One aspect of Dalton's online...
I was hoping he'd read that. That's pretty funny too. They only hate me so much because I look like the men their ancestors called Massa. That's probably not true, but hey, you do you, buddy.
Posting pictures of himself
probably all the shit that you do in the streets.
One aspect of Dalton's online presence he's been pretty consistent on is Christianity. In the first call-out post about him, he was holding out a cross while driving and supposedly calling random people the N-word as he spit on them. Clearly, the church was an important aspect of his life, making it all the more difficult when his local chapter took issue with his online shenanigans. My baptism was coming up before I went viral. Because of the pressure coming from people who hate me, my baptism was canceled and I was banned from the community. In the attached screenshots, we can even see what his priest had to say. Dalton, for the safety of everyone involved, because of all the death threats, please just stay out of things. Until things are better, praying for you, but please stay out of the community chats and stay away from church property. You and I can have a visit somewhere at some other location. Once the death threats stop, praying for you.
And I feel like this is completely justifiable. If you're going to make yourself a public figure that's going to be this controversial, the people around you are going to have to take steps to protect themselves if you're not going to do it yourself.
This is a pretty reasonable message considering that Chud himself acknowledges that the threats of violence he receives have at least some chance of being genuine. But he wasn't about to take this one lying down. Good luck with that. These people want to see me dead. I say a word. They want to kill me. I think I've done my job at exposing who is the hateful party in this whole situation. Glad to know persecution and threats of murder are something that the church shies away from. Christ is with me, even if this modern clergy isn't. I have the sneaking suspicion that going around purposely trying to piss people off and then accosting your own priest over DMs while you're converting isn't exactly the most Christian course of action. I'm no specialist on the subject matter, as I'm sure.
Like my only gripe here is that I feel like he should understand that the people of his church just don't want to be in a situation where they could possibly get hurt. This just sounds like whining on his part.
Many of you could easily figure out, but back in the good old days of century number 1, there was a big debate going on about whether Christians should still observe the dietary laws regarding pork that used to be observed by the chosen people. There was actually a council held about it, and the conclusion, laid out by none other than Big Paul in Romans chapter 14, verses 19 and 21, is that although it was technically okay for Christians to do these things since it held no religious meaning for them, it was unadvisable to do anything that would gratuitously offend or scandalize others. This meant that although you could eat pork, for example, you shouldn't go around...
Oh god, not Nikocado avocado.
...in front of them while slamming down a,
barbecue bacon.
A little Bible study from yours truly in a video about the guy who says the N-word to Clip Farm. This isn't to say that Chud or anybody should never do anything offensive ever, or that they shouldn't be allowed to. But when you do it gratuitously in public in front of families and then grandstand about it, well, you're gonna get called an edgelord. Or in the modern day, it gets you called an official partner of the Kick streaming platform. About a day after he tweeted out about what the priest had said, he apparently committed contempt of court in presence of court, which basically means he disrupted the courtroom while in front of the judge, but ultimately this was dismissed. I think that getting kicked out of the church led to Chud spending a lot more time online. online. As from this point onwards, he was on Twitter all day arguing. In a thread that was originally supposed to be about how insane people are for threatening his 2-year-old son, within just a few tweets, it turned into Chud claiming that they took away his son and his ability to work, followed by a tweet which read, "I'm self-employed with more motion than an N-word like you could ever dream of. I've got more work now than I ever did before the fame. Your attempts to starve me did not work. Now go find something else to seethe about, chimp." If he has more work than ever and motion, that's a pretty different tone than the pity begging for help.
Yeah, exactly, Rodney. Like, there are church shootings that are completely, and this wouldn't be justified either, but they're completely unmotivated by anything involving a specific person. And the priest is just trying to look out for his congregation because this fucking edgelord wants to go out and paint a target on his back.
Help on his fundraiser. If you want to ask people to pay you to say the N-word, it's a free country, I'm all for it. But I can't help but think it's a little shifty to act like you're a charity case targeted by cancel culture and then turn around and brag about how much motion you got. This whole web celebrity thing was getting to Chud's head pretty quickly, and like pretty much everyone else who gets involved in this political realm of the internet, he immediately got in a catfight with another right-wing content creator, Beardson Beardly. These two were basically arguing over which of them was more representative of or closer to Nick Fuente.
I think that the Beardson guys really cringe too, and especially if they're fighting over the affection of a fucking cuck like Nick Fuentes. I can't stand that guy, man. Nick Fuentes is the most annoying. Like, he's Ben Shapiro but worse. That's the way I look at him.
His community. Whenever someone made,
and I'm a conservative too. I just hate these fucking people on the internet that go out there and they say just ridiculous shit and it makes the movement look worse.
Fun of Chud in the replies, he made sure to reply back to brag about how much he mogs them and how good he looks now. This was also the same approach he had to making fun of an AI-edited image of Beardson, saying, "These fats no longer represent the groiper community. Come pick on me and Clavicular. Why are you people always going for the low-hanging fruit? Yeah, trust me. I went through the looks maxing phase."
Has Clavicular ever said that he was a groiper? Has that ever been recorded ever? I'm pretty sure that Clavicular is just a male-to-male trans person at this point. I don't think he has any actual political affiliation.
Before it was cool. I'm Unk for real. That stuff's for kids, and Clav is a young man. He will grow up, as did I. Still, physiognomy never lies. The uglies are always weak-spined and repulsive. I thought Beardson Beardly was cool until I heard his space tonight where he talked shit about me for absolutely no reason besides jealousy. Screw you, fatty. Go log off. I can't help but find it funny for someone to say, "Come pick on me and Clavicular," tagging him in the post like they're buddies or something. He's actually tagged Clavicular in multiple posts. It's always cringy when someone is over-eager to try and ingratiate themselves into a community, but to try and self-insert into the looks maxing stuff is so out of left field, which makes it very clear he's just trying to hop on the Clav bandwagon that was taking off around that time. Of all the things you can say about Clavicular, he, at the very least, has made it clear many times
that do-rag is fucking heinous.
Engage with politics or become a political content creator. The worst part is that Chud tries to act like he's been looks maxing since before it was cool, and specifically claimed he's been saying mog since way before Clav, when the earliest instance of him doing it online comes from just a few weeks prior to this. If I'm posting shirtless pictures online to try and own people on Twitter when I'm almost 30, I hereby give you guys permission to take me out. While they're on stream,
Rodney, I don't even think that I wouldn't even call Nick Fuentes a conservative at all. Some of the stuff that he says is completely like anti-conservative. I'm not going to talk specifically about political parties and elections, but he said some stuff that's extremely not what you would call conservative. And the people that follow him are always, they're either really young or they're just super insecure for some reason. They want to get it on the Nick Fuentes bandwagon. And I think Destiny sucked him off. I'm pretty sure that happened.
Stream engagement didn't yield much of interest given they just bickered a lot about who was Nick Fuentes' favorite. Their tweets at each other are pretty funny. After Chud tries to make fun of Beardson's follower count, Beardson replied saying this, "Maybe I should e-beg for 100K because my family is in danger." Then proceed to go scream the N-word outside.
"My family is under attack."
Dinner because you're banned from everywhere for being a low impulse control idiot. Chud then tried to say he had already been banned and canceled before he was an online personality, which again, I haven't really been able to verify. They both go on to call each other cucks and Jewish, and then Chud makes his own thread to talk about their interaction. He also allegedly doxed Beardson's address.
Jew.
By saying, "The beta groipers and the chimps have teamed up against Chud." Dude, we are so cooked. I deleted the tweet because I don't want to come across as the no.
Now he's speaking of himself in the third person. He's so fucking cooked.
Bully. I just want to see the chats and meet my favorite streamer IRL. But all throughout this beef, Chud always made sure to make more mild statements when it came to Nick Fuentes himself. Most likely because he was still hoping to be taken under his wing. But for the time being, this didn't happen, so he got back to his business of calling people the N-word in parking lots. And make no mistake, business was booming.
That shit does get me. The does get me a little bit.
With people in the same community, like in this interaction where this guy says, "Stop gaslighting yourself. Spiritual."
But what are the oranges for, Rodney?
Can't wait to beat the out of one of you. St. Nicholas moment. This is literally the meme. This is the meme. He's doing the meme. Then, in early March of 2026, Chud was scheduled to appear in court for one of his past charges, only for his public defender to not show up and his phone and meta glasses to be seized as he entered the court, which he claims was unconstitutional.
Of course, meta glasses.
Although the charges he was going there for were related
I'd
to
get some
from the previous year. In the same month, he announced that the judge ruled in court that his Give Send Go earnings reflect his consistent ability to make $40,000 every 3 months or so, and that his child support payments would be set based on that. Yet another total void victory in this cursed fallen world. On stream, he added some more context.
I was ready to chimp out. I said, Judge, I'm gonna appeal that. We're gonna be appealing that, dude. The police, bro. Like, literally, I'm going back full wigger. I'm on child support now. The state even fought for me, bro. It was like,
on child support now. I'm officially one of them.
Making that consistently, has not made that consistently. You can't even argue that I have in the past. The judge literally says, no, we're gonna make it higher than that.
After being racially demoted for owing child support to his baby mama, Chud repented from his racist ways and decided to show some love for the other ethnicities, specifically by forgiving the Japanese for Pearl Harbor.
Word to the wise. Remember Pearl Harbor.
Fortunately for him, rage bait streaming was alive and well, and April held even more controversy for him to farm notoriety off of. Yet another clip of his went viral, and funnily enough, in this same gas station where he was calling this black dude the N-word, he was approached by several black queens who had a surprisingly positive reaction to him.
I'm still not entirely sure the one in the back is actually black.
Y'all are grown. All right, cool. That's all that matters. I just gotta make sure for the stream. These people are crazy. Y'all got my back?
We got your back. We got your back.
Wait, was this actually on World Star? World Star's still a thing?
So it's not surprising that he eventually ended up on the radar of Aiden Ross. Aiden used to be one of the biggest streamers in the world, and in some ways he still is, just not to the same degree. This is partially because he rode the wave of the online right wing exploding in popularity in the past few years, pushing him squarely outside of the mainstream streamer world and more into the area.
Wait, look at this panel.
Commentators like Nick Fuentes.
What a panel. Aiden Ross, fucking clavicular. Nick Fuentes. I don't know who this guy is, but he does not. Oh, they don't fit in at all. This is just a very disjointed group of people that got together for this.
And it's also because Aiden really likes drinking lean, and well, when you drink lean, you typically don't stream that much. So once Chud and Aiden were streaming side by side on Kick, it's not a shocker that they crossed paths.
Oh, chimp out. You wanna get maced right now or what?
Yo, bro. Yo, I'm gonna be honest over, like, dude, like, that's, bro, how the like, did they fight him?
Unfortunately for Dalton, he was suspended on the 25th of April and subsequently permabanned from Kick due to his on-stream activity. This is
what do you know? Carrying around pepper spray openly and spraying people in the face when they approach you on stream is something that people don't like to have on their platform.
Kick is known for having relaxed moderation, so you just gotta give the guy some props for being crazy enough to get banned there. This was followed by the old Facebook allegations resurfacing once again, but there was never any more information added. He wasn't really able to capitalize on the clout and engagement during this time because he was rebuilding his presence over on Rumble, Pump Fun, and other obscure platforms.
Of course, Pump Fun.
Posting himself on Twitter trying to look cute, which actually succeeded in attracting more love from the black community.
Y'all believe in freedom?
If you're not aware, Pump.fun is the best place ever to invest in cryptocurrency. That's where you want to be when you want to make the money. You know, place called Pump.fun.
Speech? Yeah, so you're real. Yeah, see, y'all are Americans. Y'all never heard the guys saying, "Oh, look at these guys chimping out." They chimping out. Yeah, I heard that. That's me. Oh, for real? Yeah.
Unfortunately, despite the inevitable force of attraction,
oh, for real? You're the chipping out guy?
Bread and butter required him to keep his clip farm crusade churning. On the 3rd of May, 2026, things immediately got super hectic once again as he started going around the streets of Tennessee, offering homeless people money in exchange for the N-word pass.
Come on, get the burgers.
This one's kind of funny. This one's a little better, I think. It's a lot better than just...
Well, we got to make sure you believe in free speech first. You got to... Come on, if you believe in free speech, it's free speech. You don't believe in it?
I feel like you should give him the burgers anyway, though.
Took place in which he claimed that a woman followed him back to his truck, vandalized his vehicle, exposed herself to him, and then...
That's pretty fucked up. He should have still given him the burgers.
Threatening and seemingly succeeding in tampering with his truck while trying to come up behind him, as well as a woman assaulting him, which resulted in them getting maced.
Hey, get away from my... You're peeing? Look at him.
Okay, this is a justified pepper spray, and I think, but some of them it's just a little bit much.
Slurs and sometimes people getting assaulted, but essentially these guys are messing with Chud's truck. He keeps encouraging them to keep going. He says, you know, you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah, also, yeah, don't incite it. That's something you can't do. That's when you become in the wrong legally.
A little bit with that.
Touch my truck again. Come on over here. Come on over here. Oh, we're just getting your face on the live. Y'all going to jail.
Yeah, you can't do that either. You can't tell someone to come over here while you have not a deadly weapon, but it's a weapon just so you can spray them. That's not allowed. You can't just do that.
Citizen arrest. You're on the ground right now. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Y'all going to jail tonight. Did you just hit me?
I will try me.
And here at this point, after this girl hits Chud, he maces her in the face, and then she starts crying.
Y'all going to jail.
This clip's got millions millions of views on Twitter, and of course, plenty of controversy followed. Although the clip ends with Chud being arrested, I don't think he really got charged with anything, and he wasn't held for any long period of time. What it did do is instantly catapult Chud back to the forefront of discourse, and unsurprisingly, he ended up being discussed on Nick Fuentes' stream, although not in the way he was hoping.
The issue is, like, the stuff that they're doing is just, to me, it's not nice. I don't believe in that, okay?
It's not nice. That's a way to look at it there, Nick.
I really don't like that approach of antagonizing people in public. I just don't. I just don't like that in general. Not even just for politics, but I think that people have enough on their plate. You don't know what people are going through.
Some people found
I actually agree with that.
Unwilling to support what Chud is doing, given how openly far right he is.
Very rare Nick Fuentes W.
On a podcast is essentially that calling strangers slurs in public is in bad form and makes even the far right look bad. Essentially, he's just saying don't be a nuisance in public. This was met with a very negative reaction from Chud.
And the one criticism I get is, oh, he's just a little too mean. He's just a little too mean-spirited. Love you, little bro. But just stay in your lane, then. Just stay in your lane, then. Talk about the foreign occupation. You're doing great. You're doing great, little bro. We're gonna go play outside, all right? Have fun on your computer. Play your League of Legends.
Luckily for Dalton, at this point, he had already found some success in some more conventional clip farming.
Playing outside is going and harassing people with pepper spray.
Not worry so much about justifying the stuff that he did with some kind of political angle. Of course, this meant that the clips were going to get increasingly questionable, but to him, all that mattered is that he got views, and that wasn't very hard for him to do. It got to the point where a simple, completely mundane clip of him being mildly rear-ended in traffic got over 1 million hits. No N-bomb required. Another one of him arguing with some woman got nearly 3 million, and here, no actual violence even takes place at all. For a brief moment, it appeared that it was actually possible that Chud could maintain his ability to generate viral moments without having to piss people off or mace them in the face. But as I said, this was just for a brief moment, as he went right back to his old ways. Case in point, DJ Academics, otherwise known as the smartest man on planet Earth.
I'm sure.
Exiting narrator.
He was made aware of Chud's existence in late April. You see, Ack was caught committing a crime worse than saying the N-word. Glazing Drake. And Chud responded to the video he posted by saying, "Blacks can't even swing a sledge anymore," shaking my head. And just like that, their beef ignited. When Academics finally put down the Henny and turned his stream on, this is what he had to say.
I'm surprised that there's not somebody already that's just there just to wild out on him. I'm gonna keep it a being with you. The first who do something to him, that didn't even make a GoFundMe. That shit gonna be lit. Cause I think it's something about how the dude is going with what he's doing. It pisses everybody off.
You can see just how high the temperature was.
I don't think GoFundMe is going to let somebody fund somebody who just attacked somebody in the street. Sorry, buddy. I don't think that's how that works.
Getting now. Academics, someone with millions of followers across his accounts, was now basically encouraging people to go out and assault Chud, or worse.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see people die over a word.
Oh, fucking Sneeko.
Like somebody might have to just do it. I don't care who do it. Black, white, who cares?
In response, Chud did what Chud always does.
Boy looks like a monkey. Come threaten bodily harm in person. I'd love to spray the eyelids back on that stupid monkey. Hi, I'm disc jockey Dimmicks.
This permanently earned Academics' hatred, and he continued to revisit the topic for weeks on end afterwards, including commenting on the most recent stories about him.
Am I right, guys?
Lift a finger at me, I'm killing him. Straight up.
I think no matter your opinion on the people involved, it's clear that this was getting out of hand. No one should be encouraging violence, especially in front of a massive audience where one person watching might be crazy enough to actually go through with it. Thankfully, nothing happened for the time being, but still, this Academics guy, he seems a bit sus. Meanwhile, Dalton resumed his usual
welcome, Maddie.
New gentleman of color he met.
This is going to be a shorter one. I'm probably only going to go about an hour and a half total.
The two actually got along. In another, he met an undercover Agarthan foot soldier.
White monster! That's why he's not chimping out. That'll do it. Black guys need to drink a white monster.
Of course, not every
That's the cure to racism. Just drink white monster.
So naturally, another conflict was bound to happen.
Riling you up, getting you to chimp out. Because we want you in jail. Literally, all you do is talk about your... Oh, I'm sorry. Come back over here. Okay. Come back over here. Let's not fight. I am. Touch me again.
See, that's incitement. You can't do that.
Over 4 million views, and once again, no arrests.
Was it deserved? Probably, but it's not legal.
Confrontations were escalating in severity. Just 4 days later, yet another incident took place. Although this time it was just a bunch of tough talk and dudes holding onto their groins menacingly until one of them got pepper sprayed.
Why do they always have to do that?
Suspicious that there's a cut that doesn't show what happens in the interim between the confrontation beginning and the dude getting maced. Still, Chud suffered no consequences from this whole thing. Oddly enough, the thing that most negatively affected his reputation wasn't one of his negative interactions, but instead one of the
That's why we love you, Maddie. You're a real one. You're an OG. One day when I become the next Chud the Builder and I need to go fund me, I know who I can look out for. I know I got Maddie on my back.
positive ones. During one of his streams,
Watching
he
my
was
back.
recognized
No
by a woman
homo.
in a car.
Yeah, you were cool. I remember you. I don't remember you that much, but I do remember I know you. See it? We got roots. Hey, you scared me a little bit when you came up like that.
You helped me when you were following Liver King. But before you were following Liver King, you used to sell me weed. I fed you before.
It's been a long time.
This woman, Lily, later took to her social media accounts to add some context.
And he used to sell me weed, and I used to feed him. We used to throw parties like he was not racist. In fact, we used to literally rock out to the Dirty Sprite 2 album. I explained to him, people do not have emotional intelligence like that. You can't just say whatever and think people will not react. So, to my fellow people of color, I'm asking you to keep your reactions to a minimum.
However,
that's actually my take. She's right in both situations there. You can't expect people to be emotionally mature enough not to react physically. And it's a rough situation. It shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't be responding violently to people saying racial shit to you, but a lot of people do. And then it's nice she calls them out like, hey, just try not to, for lack of a better term, chimp out.
things quickly took a turn for the worse, as Lily turns out to not be the most stable and reliable narrator, as her own social media accounts describe her as an occultist, whatever that means, and a pretty woman with a big dick. This instability quickly manifested with her
that tracks.
Chud is being
Sure.
sponsored by politicians, lawyers, and doctors. And then she said that she used to peg him back in 2015.
And we did what, Rada?
A lot.
Me, him, and my ex-wife.
Now, him selling weed in 2015 is just a matter of fact.
I forgot about that one. She used to peg him. I believe it. Maybe. Probably not. I was just going to say they hooked up, but pegging, that's a bit much. Don't get pegged, people, please. For your families. Never get pegged. Oh, wrong key. That would help.
Since she even mentioned that she would listen to the future album Dirty Sprite 2 with Chud, and that came out in 2015. The problem is, there's absolutely no evidence that they were that close at that point in time, since the earliest text messages she showed were from 2019. Additionally, Chud would have...
Oh, you missed the part with the white woman that tried punching him, and then he pepper sprayed the shit out of her. It was pretty funny.
Lastly, Chud himself took to Twitter to say, "I never banged this girl. I barely even remember her. Just another clout chaser." But all of this business about his past being drudged up had Chud reminiscing a bit about the early years. And during one of his streams he did from home, he told the chat how his resentment toward...
I'm legitimately jealous at how handsome this guy is. Kind of pisses me off.
To cut this clip up a bit,
no homo.
Refers to this guy as the N-word cop a few times, but you get the idea.
That's when I was like 18, 10 years ago. Cop pulls up, says, "Oh, you ate the roach? I can see it in your mouth." And I was like, "Yeah, man, whatever." He arrested me for felony tampering with evidence. Obviously, it fully got dropped, the whole case.
You've probably heard stories from black people feeling that they were discriminated against by white cops, but here it's the exact reverse happening, and it also led to Chud feeling like it had something to do with race. Although early May held a lot of signal boosting moments for Chud, after the Lily thing, it felt like the momentum changed a bit, as if the tides had begun to turn against him yet again, which was punctuated by something absolutely unforeseen and kind of unbelievable. Chud the Builder got out-chudded. His adversary this time was Trev, who from what I can tell is an insane person who uses Twitter a lot. Unlike most people targeted by Chud, who get accosted by him and taken by surprise when he starts running his gimmick on them, Trev totally flipped it around.
Got your souvenir. Hey, why can't you see your son? Why can't you see your son? Ah, he tried it. He tried it. Ah, he tried to mace me. Look at this. I got his hat right here. I'm the cowboy around town now. Look at him call the cops after he just tried to mace me. I'm out of here.
To add insult to injury, after stealing his hat, Trev continued to taunt him on Twitter in unbelievable fashion.
Phase 2 of nigga starts tomorrow. 8 p.m. Eastern.
This post got over 6 million views, and in response, Chud decided to tag the Metro Nashville.
Probably not be trying to work on OBS while I'm streaming.
Going to jail, not me. Chud responded by saying, "You got so mad that I made you irrelevant, you drove 12 hours to come catch a felony. GG, kid. He assaulted me when he stole that hat, as anything on my body is considered part of my person. He admitted to carrying a weapon while he assaulted and robbed me, making it aggravated robbery and battery."
I think third, Lou.
Intent and continued boasting. Looks like the poor guy is going to go away for a while. I don't think Trev ever went to jail, nor was he charged with anything. And as of me making this video, Chud is currently in jail, even though both of them say the N-word a lot. It's almost like the incessantly looking for trouble part of his content is what got him in trouble, not the N-word part. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. The Trev saga unfortunately closed out with not a bang, but a whimper, as Chud blurted out on his stream that he was planning on suing Trev, and that was about the end of it.
Gets sued, it's called theft of property and assault, and then the intent behind it was broadcasted all over his Twitter. I mean, it's very obvious what his intent was.
With this issue dealt with, Dalton was finally free to go back to the regularly scheduled programming, IRL streaming. But before he committed to that once again, he took a brief stop at a restaurant. Little did he know that this benign decision would end in him getting arrested. It's funny that he's been in dozens of altercations so far that didn't get him arrested, and it's him sitting down to eat at a restaurant that actually put him behind bars.
It is pretty ironic.
Exactly. He sat down and ordered some appetizers, and I guess the people watching called the place he was at and informed them who he was, which isn't really surprising considering that this kind of thing gets done to streamers that aren't a tenth as controversial as Chud. When the staff came over to inform him,
he does look like he would have been a character on Deadwood. Maybe that's why I like him so
He began
much.
to outright say that he wouldn't pay for the orders that had already been delivered to his table, all while insulting the staff.
Kind of looks like
At that
Wyatt
point,
Earp from
nothing really happened.
Tombstone.
He just left the restaurant, but a few minutes later,
That kind of looks like Kurt Russell.
The stream came to a close, as it became clear that Chud was going to jail. This is where the wheat is separated from the chaff. This is where we find out who is a boy and who is a man. This sub-5 stream cell decided to dine and dash a measly single time and got immediately jailed. Meanwhile, the real Aryan Chad, Daniel Larson, dine and dash.
Hey, sub-5. That's me right now. I have 4.
Care in the world, going completely unpunished for years. Chad does what Chad wants. Anyhow, Chud's community.
That's fucking right.
About this.
Chad does what Chad wants.
Theft of services of $1,000 or less, as well as a disorderly conduct and resisting arrest charge. The bond for all of which amounted to just under $5,000. As soon as Chud got out, he was posting about the situation. Phone seized as evidence of the crime. No way of contacting anyone. Just got back to my Airbnb after 13 hours in custody for leaving a restaurant when I was asked to. FBI and domestic terrorist detective interviewed me for about 2 hours before they took me for booking, asking if I was a part of some organization. No, sir. I'm just a dude with a camera. I was wrongly arrested after the restaurant.
Why is it always the white guys that get accused of terrorism when it's never them? That's all I gotta say.
Inspired to have me charged. Then I was held until noon on Mother's Day. I had to cancel breakfast plans with my family. I was interviewed by the feds and my bank account was frozen. All electronic devices seized, as well as my firearm. The police cleared my multi-factor authentication keys after they took all my items, so now I can't sign into any of my accounts. I could not care less about some hat. I am simply weary after 6 months of being attacked by our government for expressing the constitutional freedoms our ancestors fought and died for. Wake up, America. It's not illegal for white people to say the same word they say to each other. They interrupted my appetizer several times to tell me people who are watching the stream are calling.
I'm surprised he's never just gotten charged with simple disorderly conduct. That's something they can get you for basically anything.
Told to leave. Now, while this treatment definitely seems like overkill if it was exactly how Chud described it, we do know that he wasn't being arrested because he said the N-word. Although the Wake Up America Act is kind of convincing for people who share his beliefs, it doesn't reflect the facts that he continually chooses to be a nuisance streamer, and that he was actively streaming in the restaurant, which is what led people to call the place up. Additionally, the starving thing is just clearly such loaded language that it's beyond even being pointed out. But again, a dine and dash and being annoying doesn't warrant getting the book thrown at you. So he was out pretty soon. But this incident seemingly affected him more than usual. When he got back to streaming, he looked kind of defeated for pretty understandable reasons.
I'm just tired. I'm not defeated about any of it, anything that you guys know about. I might as well just.
What is that? What is that watermark?
Text me today saying that she wants to change his name, switch it from mine. She fears for him. She said, you know, she's like, "Oh, you tarnished your name. I don't want him to have to deal with that." And I'm sitting there thinking, I walk through the streets and respectable people are literally stopping their cars in the road to shake my hand. She's more racist than I am, is the funny thing. She's just a woman. They're all cowards, and I get it. You know, they don't understand what it means to be at war.
As tragic as it is to hear about.
To be fair, Destiny's Kid, everybody knows who he is, and nobody hates him because he's kind of based.
His son basically growing up without a dad. This is kind of the result of Chud's choices. If he doesn't care enough about his situation that he won't stop what he does, and has never cared enough about this possible outcome that it prevented him from doing it in the first place, then it's hard to give him a ton of sympathy. If Johnny Somali was crying about never seeing his mom again because he's stuck in some hole of a prison in Asia, it would be sad too. But that was his choice every step of the way. What can't be chalked up as easily as the inevitable results of his decisions is another claim he makes in this same stream.
Someone killed my dog, guys. Who's helping me, bro? I can't even, my whole family doesn't even me, bro.
If this is true, then it's exactly the kind of thing where we can differentiate from just Chud suffering for his actions and cruel and unusual punishment that doesn't even target him primarily. His dog, his son, his girlfriend, his son's mother, none of them are him, and they shouldn't be lumped in just because of their association. But just as things seem to
I bet that old guy was saying some crazy shit.
And returning to Clarksville, meaning he probably wouldn't be continuing his usual streaming antics, someone breathed life back into his online presence. Or at the least, its presence in more mainstream venues. None other than the one and the only Charleston White.
Who did the young people pick
Oh, this fucking guy.
young boy?
Ooh, give me gas talking about that little boy.
He went on his personal social media accounts and on Aiden.
The first time I found out about this guy, Charleston White, was during the Gypsy Crusader Super Hot Firefight, because the whole time he was blurting out, "Get that N-word! Get him! Get him!" And they're like, "You want him to lose it? I can't see no white boy lose."
Ross's stream to beg for Chud to be freed.
Free Chud the Builder.
Wait, why?
You wasn't mad at me when I was saying about the Asians, when I was talking about the Jews.
But how does he have the right to say that?
I got the right to say wetback. It's a free speech. I'm not saying that. Well, they wasn't mad when King Von and Lil Durk was on $1 million mouth worth of game and they were serial killers.
I done fell in love with that white boy Chud. I love Chud because you know what Chud is showing everybody? Black people are cowards. If another black person does the thing that Chud is doing, white people can go back to mistreating black people. I swear to God. And black people ain't gonna do nothing but take it.
With the support of the African American and Jewish coalitions being channeled through Aiden Ross and Charleston White, Chud was reinvigorated and ready for round 2, until his second wind was unceremoniously cut short. On the 13th of May, 2026, Chud finally found what he had been looking for. Since December of 2025, he'd been tweeting out things like, "The day one of you make me take your life is the day the white man takes this country back. When I inevitably shoot one of you animals for threatening an American's life or solely exercising his constitutional freedoms, you people love seeing each other die." He even said things like this while on stream.
Chud the Builder, known for starting and harassing people. Starting things and instigating and harassing people, shoots and kills a black man. That's what it's going to say all over the headlines. They're going to say he was an innocent boy, he didn't do nothing. Pull up.
Yeah, this wasn't a smart move on his part. This was a very dumb move, putting this out there.
As soon as I see you, bro, shooting your brains out. I'm not sparing another one, because I did it last time. That guy walking up with a gun drawn, should have blew his brains out that night. Live on Kick.
Well, Chud practically
live on Kick
existence, as in this latest incident, he actually ended up shooting someone. As far as I understand, there's no clear footage of the whole thing going down, but there is some audio.
Get him off of me! Get him off of me! I didn't do nothing to him.
And there's also some footage taken from afar of the scuffle between Chud and someone else after it had already begun, but without the lead up. Twitter influencer Lauren Chen claimed that Chud's fiancée alleged there was footage of the incident that's just not released for whatever reason. But in the replies, someone else who said they watched it go down live broke it down as follows. First, Chud walked up to this guy and his girlfriend as they were both at a park bench, and the guy says he was having a bad day. After interacting with his chat for a little bit, Chud walked away and the guy started yelling something, at which point Chud began doing the chimping out routine. According to this dude, after saying "try me" a few times, the guy punched Chud, initiating the scuffle, which concluded in Chud firing 4 or 5 gunshots. There were plenty of pictures and recordings of the immediate aftermath, as well as a video of Chud talking to the cops about it.
I walked past him, he was sitting on the corner. I walked up to him because they were pointing at me. They were laughing, they were pointing at me, and I said, "What's up, guys? How y'all doing?" I said, "Y'all like the new suit?" He said, "Walk away from me." I walked away from him. He came back up to me. He literally said, "I have PTSD. I feel like I'm in." He said, "You start saying all that chimp out shit to me, I'm gonna hit you." He hit me, started wailing on me, even after I had to defend myself by shooting him. He's still wailing on me.
This is where TikToker Paranormal Chris comes in. He had been closely following Chud's case and shared the papers for his arrest, where it showed that he was being charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, and employing firearm during dangerous felony. All of which put...
I don't think attempted murder is the right one. I do think he actually did think his life was in danger. But because of the instigation that he incited the incident, I feel like it shouldn't be attempted murder, maybe manslaughter. But, I mean, the guy didn't die. In fact, he shot himself in the leg and probably got hurt worse than the guy did.
Together could get him a sentence anywhere between 15 and 60 years in prison. Obviously, people rarely get the full sentence. What's much more interesting is the fact that Chud's bond was initially set at $1.2 million.
And this is where I am unequivocally on Chud's side. That's an absolutely ridiculous bond for a charge like this. And I think he even goes over right now that there have been other crimes committed in the same county of people that actually committed murders that their bond wasn't that high.
Himself.
I'm gonna set just a bond right now to have our bail hearing. Then I'll let you make all the arguments. We can go through all the factors in the statute and see if that gets amended up or down. Okay? Yes. I'm going to set initial bond at $1.25 million, based upon the fact of how many people were in the courtyard, were here at the courthouse, and the seriousness of all these felonies and his bond status.
One of the Twitter accounts that was regularly updating people on Chud's case actually went through the average bail amounts for other people who were arrested and charged in the same county, only to find that the closest comparable estimation was a double murder, and even that bond was set at $250,000 cheaper than Chud's. But much crazier than that, the same county had previously given bond amounts over 12 times lower for crimes that are honestly so horrific they shouldn't even be mentioned. So it definitely seemed like they were trying to make
rape and murder
of Chud the Builder.
Yeah.
He is a public figure after all, and the case has a lot of media attention, not to mention the obvious political angle. A white guy who streams himself calling black people the N-word shoots a black guy. The state was definitely doing its best to keep him behind bars because of how angry people...
So I think that's where I'm going to stop it with the Turkey Tom video. There's something else I wanted to watch briefly before I get off here. But my thoughts at the end of the day, I don't think that he should be doing the things that he was doing. I don't think it's a great thing. It's every right to do it, except for the incitement to violence and, actually committing violence against other people. That's not okay. But I think it's inevitable that he would have gotten arrested, but the bond is just a ridiculous amount. And honestly, it's just, I don't know if maybe the judge wanted to prevent future behavior from other people. but I don't think that was it. I think that he literally just set the bond so high because he didn't want the people to riot in the streets, which is what usually happens in these racially motivated cases. But I should have probably set up timestamps for this. Like I said, this was kind of impromptu. But here is Jake Monroe, who is a streamer from the UK, also known as Goth Daddy, and my favorite person in the world, Gypsy Crusader, talking about the Chud the Builder situation.
You've been very prominent in over the past couple of weeks. There's an issue that I've been covering as well because, you know, it is such an unfair and very clear move against white people, which is the Chud the Builder situation. Do you want to sort of go over the current, or at least how initially you got involved and what happened with that?
So when Chud got arrested unjustly, it's funny because I was on vacation and me and him had talked on the phone just before this happened, literally the day before. And I was telling him, I was like, man, please be careful. Like, I love you, and I don't want to see anything happen to you. Like, I know you're out there and doing your thing, but just watch yourself. And then this craziness happened, and I want to thank Tom Hennessy because Tom Hennessy on X, he got in contact with Chud's fiance. So then what I did was, I found out like how much the bail money was, like what they want, and I said, okay, I'm like, we're not going to be able to raise this kind of money. Like we could raise some of it, but I don't know if we're going to raise all of it. $1 million is a huge bond.
Which
So,
you only need
yeah,
100,000.
I mean, it shouldn't
You only
even
need
be that
10%.
It's ridiculous. Okay, on its face. 1.25 is what they wanted originally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, tell us louder how much that you hate white people, right?
Tell us you want to keep us suffering in prison without telling us you want to keep us suffering in prison.
Yeah.
So I got the idea that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Duel because Duel has been really really good to me, and they wanted Chud to come on to Duel to deal blackjack for them. So I had already put them in contact like before this all went down. So I was trying to get Chud over to Duel because I wanted them to sponsor him. I thought it would be really good for him. I thought it'd be good for Duel. So when this happened, I went
I
to
don't
Duel
really
and I
know
was
much
like,
about Duel,
you
but
guys
they
like
sound pretty
definitely
based.
something we can do. And Duel, like without hesitation, was like, absolutely, we are gonna do this, and we are gonna do everything we can. So then, I got in contact with his fiance, who got me in contact with the bail bondsman, who then I turned over all of that information to Duel, and then Duel talked to the bail bondsman and tried to send the money. Okay, they tried to send $1 million. Now it's from it's from overseas, takes a little time. So the first time they sent it, for whatever reason, the money bounced back, and then that trial went on where they said there has to be 10 different bail bonding companies.
So this is where it really starts to actually make me mad, is that he actually was able to get the bond money and they just refuse to accept it. And they keep trying to make him jump through hoops to get the money through. And honestly, it's pretty obvious they're just trying to get him to give up. They don't want him out at all. They want him to be in jail. They want him to suffer, even though he hasn't actually been convicted yet.
Which is completely unheard of. It's one bail. It's one bail for like one charge. You can't just somehow say that there has to be 10 bail bondsmen. Why? If that's the case, and the reason that he wrapped it up was because it's $1 million bond and you have to have the max is $100,000, which I've never heard of.
Yeah,
And
it
if that's the
doesn't
case,
sound right to me.
we'll
I'm
just
not an
give him a
expert on
bond
the
of
subject, but
$100,000 one time, if that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, that's not even the first time they blocked it, though, because initially they actually did block his give, send, go money because there was a shit ton in there that was supposed to be a 10% deposit on the bond. And then there was meant to be, and then in light of that, there was meant to be some sort of collateral to cover the remaining 90%.
What they wanted was, they wanted originally $100,000 or $125,000, and then they wanted $750,000 in collateral. So the only way you can do that is you have to give
you
them.
have to put up your house, yeah, or a
You have to
really
put a house up.
expensive
That's the
car.
only way. I mean, unless you have like 5 Bentleys in your garage,
Yeah.
you can use those for collateral. But if you don't have that, you got to give a house, or you have to pay the
Or a
entirety
boat. You could use a
of the
boat for
house.
collateral.
So that's what Duel did, and Duel did send the money again. And from what I understand, and again, I haven't had a chance to speak with them about it, but I'm going to try to do that today because I've been busy with other stuff. But I'm going to try to talk to them about it today, so I have more information. But the last that I talked to Duel about it, they had sent the money, it got received, and now they're just trying to maneuver it that they could just use 1 or 2 bail bonding companies to post it because the money's there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have it.
And it's like, I think
At this point, they might as well just said no bond at all. No bond, no bail. you're going to get stuck, which I'm pretty sure you can't do unless the charge is like actually murder. So I don't know. It just seems like the process isn't working the way it's supposed to, and that judge is kind of a piece of shit.
I think it's obvious they're making this purposefully convoluted to try and get this guy out because he's such a controversial topic. And it's not even just that, man. I really do think that these law systems, not only are they politically captured by the left, they're also terrified of the black community, regardless of what state it is. I mean, we saw what happened with Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter happened here too. Like there were riots here. They were taking the knee on every single continent, man. It was. But there really is like this sense of like being afraid of the black community and not
And it's true. And I understand that fear because of how often the black community have rioted over some pretty trivial shit. But at the same time, that's not how the system's supposed to work. You're supposed to enforce the law properly.
Issues like this that arise whenever they get to, I mean, the Carmelo Anthony stuff, that shit was. I think the Carmelo Anthony situation has.
So they go into Carmelo Anthony here. That's basically the gist of it. So the company Duel actually did send money to get Chud the Builder out of jail, and the court is just denying it, which is a load of shit. But like I said, same thing as before. I don't think he should be in jail right now. At the very least, he should have posted bond. I also don't think he should be doing the things that he's doing. He shouldn't be instigating any of these types of things. But I just wanted to go over that real quick stream on a Sunday night. Went a little bit over an hour. So if there's anything in chat, one time I guess I will do my Stream Elements link. It didn't do the thing because I didn't use any of the keywords. But if anybody would like to donate to my PayPal through Stream Elements, I could use a little money right now. You have no obligation to, but if you like the content that I put out, and if you like the Bad Advice podcast that me and Sean do every week, it would be highly appreciated. But with that, I hope everybody has a good night, and I'm not going to do an outro this time. I'm going to get out of here, probably take a quick shower, maybe cook, and I'll probably go watch the Melee Madness podcast once I'm done doing all that. But thank you, everybody who came in and watched. Thank you, Maddie, Rodney, Lou. This is just something I really cared about, and so I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday night.